Have you ever done everything right for your health eating seeds, nuts, so-called superfoods, and still been shocked when your lab results showed protein in your urine? If you're over 50, this is not a small warning. This is an emergency. Your body whispers before it starts to scream. I'm Dr. Johnny, and what most Americans don't realize is that silent kidney damage is rising fast, costing families tens of thousands of dollars, and stealing years of quality life, not because of junk food, but because of foods people trust every single day. And here's the most dangerous part: by the time symptoms appear, the damage is often already advanced, quietly pushing people toward dialysis without pain, without drama, without mercy, which is exactly why this conversation matters right now. But stay with me, because the good news is this: when you understand which everyday foods are quietly sabotaging your kidneys and how to use them correctly instead, you can dramatically reduce stress on your kidneys and regain control before it's too late. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how. Chia seeds are everywhere right now, blended into smoothies, sprinkled on yogurt, added to oatmeal, and most people believe they're doing something powerful for their health. I've heard it countless times from patients over 50, Dr. Johnny, I switched to chia seeds because I wanted to protect my heart and kidneys. But here's where the story quietly turns. I once worked with a 57-year-old man who had no pain, no swelling, no obvious symptoms, yet his urine test suddenly showed protein. When we traced his routine, one habit stood out clearly: 3 tablespoons of chia seeds every single morning, soaked overnight, because social media told him more fiber is always better. What most people don't realize is that when kidneys begin to weaken even slightly, chia seeds can shift from helper to hidden burden. Scientifically, chia seeds are extremely dense in minerals, especially phosphorus, and they absorb large amounts of water, forming a gel that slows digestion and changes how minerals are released into the bloodstream. A 2022 clinical nutrition study found that in people with reduced kidney function, regular high chia intake raised blood phosphorus levels by up to 15% within just a few months, and excess phosphorus is one of the fastest accelerators of vascular damage, bone loss, and kidney decline. One common smoothie-sized serving, around 3 tablespoons, can already exceed safe phosphorus limits for many people with early kidney stress, even if their creatinine still looks normal. The smarter approach isn't fear, it's precision, limiting chia to about 1 tablespoon, using it only a few times per week, avoiding long soaking periods, and always pairing it with adequate hydration so the kidneys aren't forced to concentrate and filter mineral overload. When used correctly, chia can still fit into a kidney-aware lifestyle, but when used blindly, it quietly adds pressure to an organ that rarely complains until damage is well underway. And this is exactly where many well-intentioned people get trapped without realizing it. But only knowing this is not enough, because there is another seed that looks just as harmless, yet carries an even more dangerous invisible threat that most people never think to check for. After understanding how chia seeds can quietly overload the kidneys, many people feel relieved when they switch to pumpkin seeds, believing they've found a safer, more natural option. Pumpkin seeds are often praised for magnesium, zinc, and heart health, and I've heard patients say, Dr. Johnny, I snack on pumpkin seeds because they're clean and traditional. But here's the part almost no one talks about. I once reviewed lab results for a 61-year-old woman whose kidney and liver markers were slowly worsening despite an otherwise careful diet. She didn't eat junk food, didn't drink alcohol, but every evening she ate a handful of pumpkin seeds bought in bulk because they were cheap and convenient. The hidden issue wasn't the seed itself, it was aflatoxin, an invisible toxin produced by mold that grows easily on seeds stored in warm or humid conditions. Scientifically, aflatoxin is one of the most potent toxins known to stress both the liver and kidneys, forcing these organs to work overtime to detoxify something the body was never designed to handle regularly. According to food safety reports, improperly stored, pumpkin seeds are among the most common seed products found to exceed safe aflatoxin limits, and chronic exposure has been linked to higher risks of kidney damage and even cancer, especially in older adults whose detox systems are already slower. What makes this so dangerous is that aflatoxin has no taste, no smell, and no visible warning signs, meaning seeds can look perfectly fine while still carrying long-term harm. The solution isn't panic, but awareness, choosing reputable brands that test for toxins, avoiding loose or unbranded bulk seeds, storing them in airtight containers away from heat and discarding anything with even a slightly off smell or discoloration. Your kidneys already filter thousands of liters of blood every day. Adding an invisible toxin to that workload is like forcing an exhausted worker to carry weight they never signed up for, and the damage builds quietly over time. But only knowing this is not enough, because there is another popular seed that doesn't rely on toxins at all. Instead, it slowly fuels inflammation inside your body in a way that most people completely overlook. Once people learn about toxins like aflatoxin, they often feel reassured choosing sunflower seeds instead, thinking, at least these are clean, dry, and widely sold. Sunflower seeds are marketed as heart-healthy, rich in vitamin E, and perfectly safe for daily snacking. And I hear this assumption constantly in my clinic. But this is where the danger becomes more subtle. I remember a 59-year-old patient who proudly replaced chips with sunflower seeds, eating them every afternoon while watching TV, believing he had finally made a smart upgrade. His kidney numbers didn't crash overnight, but year after year, his filtration rate quietly declined. What most people don't realize is that sunflower seeds are extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids. And when omega-6 overwhelms omega-3 in the diet, it creates a low-grade inflammatory state that never fully turns off. From a scientific standpoint, chronic inflammation damages the tiny blood vessels inside the kidneys, first reducing their ability to filter efficiently. Research from Harvard-affiliated nutrition studies has shown that individuals with a high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio have up to a 30% higher risk of developing chronic kidney disease, and a single large serving of sunflower seeds can deliver more omega-6 than your body needs for an entire day. The danger isn't dramatic, which is why it's so easy to ignore. It's like rust forming slowly inside a pipe. Nothing looks wrong until flow is already compromised. The smarter strategy is balance, not elimination, limiting sunflower seeds to small portions, avoiding daily use, and actively increasing omega-3 sources, such as fatty fish walnuts or ground flax. So inflammation is countered instead of fueled. When this balance is restored, kidneys experience less vascular stress and can maintain filtration longer. But when sunflower seeds are eaten mindlessly, inflammation becomes the silent partner driving kidney decline. But only knowing this is not enough, because there is another seed that doesn't attack through inflammation, but instead interferes with hormones and blood pressure in ways many people over 50 never suspect. After hearing about inflammation and omega balance, many people turn to flax seeds with confidence, believing they've found the perfect solution, anti-inflammatory, heart protective, and widely recommended by health experts. I've had patients tell me, Doctor Johnny, I eat flax every day because it's supposed to be great for circulation and digestion. And they're not wrong, but only part of the story is being told. I remember a 62-year-old woman who began adding large amounts of ground flax seeds to her breakfast after menopause, hoping to support her heart and hormones naturally. A few months later, her blood pressure became unpredictable, and her kidney labs began to fluctuate in ways she couldn't explain. The missing piece was understanding phytoestrogens. Flax seeds contain lignans, plant compounds that can mimic estrogen in the body, and while this can be beneficial in small controlled amounts in older adults, especially those with already stressed kidneys, hormonal shifts can directly influence blood pressure, fluid balance, and kidney filtration. Scientific studies have shown that in people with chronic kidney stress, high and frequent flax intake may contribute to subtle but sustained increases in systolic blood pressure, sometimes by 5 to 10 points over several months, and even small rises in blood pressure can significantly accelerate kidney damage over time. The solution here is not fear, but restraint, keeping flax intake modest, avoiding daily high doses, always using freshly ground seeds, and paying close attention to how your body responds, especially if you notice dizziness, fatigue, or rising blood pressure. When used sparingly, flax can still support health, but when consumed automatically every day, it can quietly disrupt the delicate hormonal and vascular balance your kidneys rely on to survive. But only knowing this is not enough, because there is one more seed that hides its danger, not in nature itself, but in modern processing, and it may be the most misleading of all. After learning about hormones and blood pressure, many people feel confident choosing hemp seeds, believing they've reached the safest option: high-quality protein, clean fats, and a modern superfood label that sounds almost medical. I hear it all the time. Dr. Johnny Hemp is plant-based. It has omega fats. It has protein. How could it be bad? But this is where the danger no longer comes from the seed itself, but from what the food industry quietly does to it. I worked with a 64-year-old man who switched to hemp protein bars and hemp milk after giving up red meat, convinced he was protecting his kidneys. Within months, his blood pressure crept up, ankle swelling appeared, and his labs showed increasing kidney stress, all without obvious dietary mistakes. The hidden culprit was sodium and additives. Scientifically, excess sodium forces the kidneys to retain fluid and work harder to excrete salt, raising blood pressure and damaging delicate filtration units over time. Many processed hemp products marketed as healthy contain 300 to 400 milligrams of sodium per serving, and when consumed daily, sometimes multiple times a day, this quietly pushes kidney workload beyond safe limits. Research consistently shows that in older adults, even moderate sodium excess can increase the risk of kidney decline and cardiovascular events by more than 20%, especially when kidney function is already slowing with age. The safer approach is simple but rarely followed. Prioritize whole unprocessed hemp seeds. Avoid packaged bars and flavored hemp drinks, read labels obsessively, and treat low sodium claims with skepticism by checking the actual milligram numbers. When hemp is stripped of additives and used with intention, it can fit into a kidney-aware lifestyle. But when processed products dominate, the kidneys are left fighting a battle you never see until damage is already underway. But only knowing this is not enough, because there is one final truth that almost no one tells you, and it may decide whether your kidneys stabilize or continue quietly moving toward dialysis. After hearing about chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax and hemp, many people reach a moment of confusion and quietly ask themselves, so what am I supposed to eat? And this is exactly where most people get it wrong. Because the real threat to your kidneys is not one bad seed, one bad snack, or one bad choice. The real danger is the pattern almost every adult over 50 is repeating without realizing it. I remember sitting across from a 66-year-old patient who looked genuinely frustrated and said, "Dr. Johnny, I didn't eat fast food. I didn't drink soda. I just followed what everyone said was healthy." That single sentence explains why kidney damage today is so hard to detect. It doesn't come from recklessness, it comes from blind trust. Scientifically, aging kidneys are different. They filter more slowly, recover more slowly, and tolerate nutritional stress far less efficiently than they did in your 30s or 40s. When small stressors stack up day after day, slightly too much phosphorus from one seed, low-grade inflammation from another, hidden sodium from a processed health product, subtle hormone shifts affecting blood pressure. The kidneys don't fail dramatically, they erode quietly. Large population studies show that adults over 50 who consume so-called healthy foods daily without rotation or portion awareness have significantly higher rates of protein in the urine compared to those who eat with variety and restraint, even when calories and weight look normal. This is why protein in the urine often appears without pain, without warning, and without obvious dietary mistakes. Kidney damage today doesn't look irresponsible. It looks disciplined, routine, and well-intentioned. The solution isn't fear, and it's definitely not perfection. It's kidney intelligence. That means rotating foods instead of repeating the same healthy items every day, respecting portion size instead of following trends, choosing whole foods over processed versions, and understanding one critical truth: your kidneys don't need more superfoods, they need less pressure. When people stop stacking stress and start eating with awareness, lab numbers often stabilize faster than expected, blood pressure becomes easier to control, and energy slowly returns. This is the moment many patients realize something powerful: their kidney decline was not destiny, it was accumulation. And accumulation can be reversed when you finally see the pattern clearly. But only knowing this is still not enough, because there is one final mindset shift almost no one makes, and it may determine whether your kidneys stabilize or quietly continue moving toward dialysis. If you've stayed with me until now, I want you to pause for a moment and take a deep breath, because the most important message of this entire video is not fear, it's empowerment. Many people hear the words protein in the urine or kidney damage and immediately think the story's already written. It isn't. Your kidneys are resilient organs, and even after years of silent stress, they often respond remarkably well when you finally remove the pressure that's been weighing them down. What you've learned today isn't about giving up foods you enjoy or living in constant restriction. It's about making smarter, calmer choices that work with your kidneys instead of against them. If you're over 50, the goal is no longer to chase every health trend or superfood that pops up online. The real goal is stability. That means rotating foods instead of repeating the same healthy item every single day. Paying attention to portions instead of assuming more is better, choosing whole and minimally processed options whenever possible, and most importantly, listening to your lab results instead of ignoring them. Protein in the urine is not a failure. It's a message. And when you respond early, you give your kidneys a chance to recover before serious damage sets in. Even small adjustments like reducing daily seed overload, checking labels for hidden sodium, or spacing certain foods across the week instead of stacking them every morning can dramatically reduce kidney stress over time. I also want you to know this: you are not alone in this journey. Thousands of people are quietly facing the same concerns, asking the same questions, and wondering if they waited too long. You didn't. The fact that you're here learning and paying attention already puts you ahead of where most people start. Kidney health isn't about perfection. It's about consistency and awareness. When you make kidney-friendly choices, most of the time, your body notices and your labs often follow. If this video helped you see your daily habits more clearly, do yourself a favor and save this video. Come back to it. Re-watch it when you're standing in the grocery store or looking at your breakfast routine and wondering what really matters. And if you want ongoing practical medical insights explained in plain language, without fear, without exaggeration, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. I share the latest evidence-based guidance to help you protect your kidneys, manage protein in the urine, and age with strength and confidence, not anxiety. And before you go, I want to leave you with this message of hope. Kidney decline does not happen overnight, and healing doesn't either. But direction matters more than speed. Every time you choose balance over excess, awareness over habit, and understanding over assumptions, you are giving your kidneys a break they desperately need. Many people never get this chance because they never received the information in time. You did. Take it seriously, but don't be afraid of it. Your kidneys don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be informed, patient, and consistent. And if you stay curious, stay engaged, and stay connected here, you'll continue learning how small, smart choices today can protect your health for years to come. Thank you for trusting me with your time. And remember, caring for your kidneys is not about giving things up. It's about gaining control over your future.